David Meerman Scott. I'm currently coming at you from the outside of Boston, Massachusetts, and it is a beautiful day out here in Boston. And I am a marketing strategist. I write books. I've got 8 books. 3 of them are international bestsellers, and I give speeches all over the world. I have been fortunate to have delivered speeches in 37 countries on 6 continents, and in December I'm traveling to Antarctica to deliver a speech in Antarctica, which will be my 7th continent. My favorite disruptive heroes, there are 2 of them. When I was 26 years old, I moved to Tokyo to start the Japanese office of a Wall Street economic consulting firm. And almost exactly the same time that I moved to Tokyo, so did Chad Rowan. Chad Rowan was from Hawaii, and he moved all by himself, just like I moved all by myself. He was younger than me. He was about 18 years old. I was 26 years old. And he became the first foreign-born grand champion sumo wrestler in Japan. And he took the name Akebono, and he was unbelievably disruptive because can you imagine the Japanese national sport, and all of a sudden there's this American who's the #1 sumo wrestler in Japan. And it was incredibly disruptive. I had the distinct pleasure of meeting him several different times. Once casually bumped into him, and he's a big man. He's about 6'8" and 500 pounds. I bumped into him once in the street, and then another time I met him at an event and had a chance to chat with him. Unbelievably disruptive, and what that taught me is I can do anything, which is extremely valuable for someone who's in their mid-20s. Then about 10 years ago, I started following the work of Seth Godin, and Seth Godin is my other disruptive hero because he helps people to be disruptive. What I mean by that is he writes books and delivers speeches about how you've got to be disruptive in order to be successful in this world. And one of the books that he wrote called Linchpin is a really great primer on this idea. And his ideas have actually prompted me to go out on my own and be disruptive in my own way. My favorite disruptive change, no doubt, is the rise of the web. We are going through the biggest revolution in human communications in history, in the world. And you think about it, never has there been anything as disruptive as our current ability to connect with practically every other human on the planet in real time, instantly. There are 7 billion people in the world. 6 billion of us have access to mobile phones, more than have access to toothbrushes, more than have access to working toilets. And this big disruptive technology is even more important than the invention of the printing press, which was 550 years ago. Think about the invention of the printing press. It literally brought people out of the Middle Ages and ushered in the Renaissance because all of a sudden we humans could read for ourselves what the truth was because of the wide availability of books, rather than relying on religious leaders to tell us what they believe the truth to be. And now we're going through something even more important, and everyone on the planet can learn for themselves and experience for themselves what the truth is. And it's I just talk about a little sliver of this, which is what this means for marketers and communicators and entrepreneurs, but it is clearly the coolest and most amazing, and I think most historically significant disruptive technology in human history. My daughter went off to college, and it's a disruptive change in our house. Actually, she's been off at college now for 2 years. It's still a disruptive change in our house. We only have one daughter. My wife and I are together, have been together. So we're a good pair, but it's a disruptive change that the threesome that had been together for 18 years was all of a sudden disrupted. But what's really interesting to me, other than what's different than when I went to college, is that what we're doing now, Skype. Skype is a great way to communicate over long distances. So even though it's been incredibly disruptive from a personal perspective, I find that I'm still able to keep up with what's going on in my daughter's life, although not at the level that we used to over dinner every single night. So I know that That may not seem like a really disruptive thing that many people are dealing with much greater issues, but in my little life, that's an important one.